This Hero Club Christmas special uses homebrew from our good friends at Mage Hand Press. Go check them out at magehandpress.com. Welcome to Hero Club. I'm Nick Williams.
And I am George Primavera.
George and I have been playing D&D together for years.
Now, a lot of people think you need to be a big, huge nerd boy to play Dungeons & Dragons.
But in reality, you just have to be willing to spend 4 hours of your own time on a weekday trashed on cheap beer cross-legged around a coffee table.
I lost a game of Flip Cup in 2012, so I had to buy all the books and learn how to be Dungeon Master. My dad was disappointed.
Yeah, he was. But after a game or two, we realized that it's actually a really fun and effective way to tell an awesome story.
Yeah, it's like long-form improv, but you kill more people.
Here's what you need to know. George creates a world and the framework for a cool story.
And the players, like Nick, create characters beforehand, all with special abilities, sometimes magical, sometimes not, and they adventure through the story as best they can, trying not to die.
We, the players, roll dice to see if our improvised actions fail or succeed, trying to beat a number in George's head that he promises he doesn't change at will.
But at the table, I am God, my game, my rules.
Okay, so it's as nerdy as you thought. You know what? Just man.
Oh, okay.
It off,
All right,
okay?
Nick, maybe don't tell everybody to... And it's not that nerdy. I mean, we get rid of all that stupid math, and we add music and sound effects and stuff like that, so, you know, it's cool.
Anyway, these stories do follow a linear plot, so if you want to know what's going on, start at the beginning of any season you like, and have fun with it.
Without further ado...
Welcome to Hero Club! Yeah!
'Tis the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature is stirring, not even a mouse. The cookies are set, milk up to the brim, 3 stockings across, Mama, Papa, and Tim. Tim should be nestled all snug in his bed, but worry and dread keep him sleepless instead. His father has not made it home yet this eve, and his mother does not know what she should believe. She rings the police, a search party forms, for outside's a blizzard. It storms and it storms. Now Tim is a young one. He can't face his fears. And all of a sudden, the boy disappears. With his mother out searching, little Tim's lost his way. So Santa's little helpers must now save the day.
Your parents tuck you in, but no one's sleeping. It's Christmas Eve, and you hear footsteps creeping.
Is it a dragon?
Is it a ghost?
Is it Santa?
Well, almost. It's Santa's little helpers. Santa's little helpers. They're ready for adventure with you and your companions too. They're Santa's little helpers. Santa's little helpers. With lemon curd and gingerbread and healing words and fuzzy heads. When Santa's riding in his sled, who does Santa send you instead?
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Santa's little helpers!
The year is 1963. It's the big night, Christmas Eve. Old Man Winter has not disappointed as a blizzard, the likes of which the citizens of Atchison, Kansas have never seen, rages. Cold wind howls against the rickety wooden sleigh that a steely-eyed elven flyboy is forcing forward, and the 4 members of St. Nick's Alpha Team TINSEL, toys in nefarious situations extracting little ones, grip the sides for dear life.
Cuthbert Buchanan, the tin soldier, sits maintaining his toy musket. His white flight suit completely covers his soldier uniform, but he is still wearing his tall bearskin hat with 2 gold baubles on the front of it. Behind his pointed nose and handlebar mustache burns a fire of intense resolve.
The Scio Wind and Play Robot, or Swapper, the boxy 1960s tin robot, is staring out ahead while slowly turning the crank on his back. His face is locked in an expression somewhere between shock and joy.
Helga Attentäter is a marionette milkmaid, her short blonde hair pulled back into pigtails with incredibly rosy cheeks. Her marionette strings are whipping backwards in the wind, casually hitting Cuthbert in the face.
Bringing up the rear on the miniature elf sleigh is a massively rotund, overstuffed teddy bear with a giant grin on his face. This is Tiberius Huggins TM, or Tubbs as he likes to be called. His flight suit barely holds in his girth, but nothing can damper his spirits because he's excited to meet his new little boy.
All 4 animated toys are outfitted with sleek white wingsuits, camouflaging perfectly with the falling snow. Also in each toy's ear is nestled a small golden earpiece. They all crackle to life, and the elf, desperately trying to get control of his miniature sleigh, begins squeakily barking orders at you.
All right, Alpha Team, listen up. This is the biggest assignment your squad has had to date. This isn't your average kid gets lost in his own backyard situation. We've got ourselves a full-on code Schrodinger. Santa can't tell if this kid is sleeping or awake. Now, that leaves us with a few possibilities, but we won't know exactly what's going on until we get you to the ground and do some recon. Remember, the objective is Tim Calloway, age 6, definite nice lister, shouldn't give you any trouble. Now, if you make contact, radio in. Fair warning though, I'm gonna lose the comms for a while after the drop. This storm is bad, and a big piece of hail knocked out long range about 100 clicks back. I'll circle back around as soon as I can though. Gotta meet up with the big guy and refuel. Any questions? Aye.
No questions here, laddie. We're just excited to meet that wee boyo.
Yes, Officer Scoots all over. I have a question and query. In my records, I see that there have been no more than 4 Schrodingers that we have ever encountered. Are we enough to deal with this?
This is pretty top brass, Swapper. I'm not gonna lie, the Alpha Elf Squad really wanted this one, but Claus went with you guys instead. I'm hearing a lot of chatter over the comms about sending toys to do an elf's job.
Tubbs raises his hand.
Go ahead, Private Huggins.
Well, I guess that just leaves me with one question. Is he more of like a baseball kid, or is he one of those kids who loves knights and dragons and all that stuff? I could do it either way. You just slap a little baseball bat in my hand, or you give me a sword. I'll do it all. I'm real pumped to meet this Tim kid. Follow up, if we find him, do we get to keep him?
Negative, Private Huggins. Your mission is recon. I repeat, recon only.
Oh, bummer. Well, make sure to give him a big bear hug, and you can tell the big man upstairs that that's my prerogative.
I sure will, Tiberius.
Please, call me Tubbs. Tiberius was my dad's name.
We're coming up on the drop zone. Toys, prepare to dismount. Wait, Cuthbert!
Buchanan!
Cuthbert has already jumped from the sleigh.
By my calculations, he is going to miss the target by a lot.
Okay, that's an unforeseen complication. You guys gotta grab him. Remember, I put my neck out recommending you guys for this job. Don't disappoint me. Give him heck, or Commissioner Buttercrumb will have my badge. Go, go, go!
Swapper's wind-up legs inch slowly forward to the edge of the sleigh, and then he lets gravity do the work, as his rigid body tips slowly over.
Tubbs waddles over to Sergeant Scoots all over and gives him a big hug.
Oh, remember, the best hugs is bear hugs. Bye, I love you.
And Tubbs flings his gigantic body off of the sleigh into the snow.
Helga, in every sense of the word, has slunk off the back of the sled.
The 3 toys begin hurtling towards the earth. Significantly behind them in distance, but much closer to the ground, Cuthbert shoots through the snow as it whips past his painted face. Cuthbert, can you please make an acrobatics check for me?
14.
Cuthbert has managed to salvage his run just a little bit, but he does notice he is going to come up short of the roof that he was originally intended to land upon.
Oh, blimey.
Cuthbert, can you please make a perception check?
11.
Cuthbert comes up very quickly on a large overhanging branch and attempts to maneuver through the branches to get as close as possible to the house. Can you please make another acrobatics check for me?
Botch.
In a panic, Cuthbert goes to pull his chute, and immediately the parachute gets tangled up in the dangling branches. Cuthbert swings limply from this snow-laden willow.
Old Cuthie, you've made a right mess of this.
And Cuthbert starts pawing at himself, trying to find his dirk so he can cut himself free.
Back up in the sky, the 3 toys have found themselves in the air and they're all falling downward. Tubbs, Swapper, Helga, all 3 of you make acrobatics checks for me.
20.
7.
7.
All three toys manage to fall into a formation, creating a triangular, rotating trio of falling toys. They join hands and hurtle faster and faster towards the earth. All of you make one more acrobatics check for me.
Nat 20.
11.
12.
All three toys synchronize their descent and begin to pull up slightly as they approach Little Tim's house. The streetlights begin to poke dimly through the utter black of the night, and all three toys will make one more acrobatics check to land smoothly on the roof.
19.
22.
0.
Tubbs and Helga glide smoothly onto the rooftop, skating until they are at the base of a very picturesque little brick chimney. Swapper, however, misjudges the trajectory and disappears into a snowbank in a garden just at the base of the house.
Well, hold on, I'll see if I can go and get him.
And Helga walks over to the edge to see exactly how far Swapper is from the roof.
Hey, Swapper, you down there, buddy?
There is a perfectly Swapper-sized hole in the snowbank directly at the base of the house. So he hasn't gone far, he just definitely didn't make it up onto the roof. Helga, as you move over to the edge of the roof, can you please make a perception check?
Botch.
Cuthbert is nowhere to be seen. Tubbs?
14.
Over there by that big tree.
Cuthbert is swinging from the tree in the front yard of Little Tim's house.
Hey, Cuthbert! Hey, how you doing over there?
Oh, big boy, you're doing a solid one in the ear. What took you lot so long? Cuthbert continues to saw at the strings of his parachute.
Finally, the last string gives and Cuthbert falls to the earth.
Just a little farther.
Cuthbert momentarily disappears into the deep snow, and then his fuzzy hat pokes out of the snow. The little toy soldier stands, rights himself, and brushes the snow off of his shoulders.
You lot get inside from up there. I'll find the box of bolts and meet you downstairs.
Perfect, Cuthbert. We'll see you inside. Tubbs, let's go down this chimney.
Easier said than done. After last weekend's big feast, I've been overstuffing myself something terrible.
Don't you worry, I'll jump on your head if we have to push you through.
Done deal.
Would you mind giving me a little boost?
Well, sure thing.
Tubbs picks her up and tosses her onto the top of the chimney.
Roll an athletics check for me.
20.
Effortlessly, Helga lands on the brim of the chimney.
Helga turns around and lowers one of her puppet strings over the edge of the chimney so that Tubbs can grab it.
Oh, sorry about the extra weight.
And Tubbs climbs up the string.
Make an athletics check for me.
Nat 20.
Tubbs quickly Supermans up the rope and lands on the brim of the chimney as well.
It's only stuffing, darling.
Cuthbert approaches the swapper-shaped hole in the snow.
Aye there, metal man. You alright? I didn't copy. Can you say again, lad?
Cuthbert reaches Swapper and helps him stand upright.
With a pop, the robot exits the snow.
This is going to be an ordeal. I can feel it.
Aye there, don't be so gloomy, glum. With any luck, there's bound to be a mail slot or a doggy door or something of the like.
We should look for one. And while we look, Cuthbert, this is the, 6th time you've done something reckless. We must discuss.
Oh, what would I do without you keeping count for me, lad? Let's go.
Swapper scans the front yard for a doggy door or any kind of easily accessible entrance.
There is no doggy door or mail slot at the entrance of the house. However, a slightly gaudy plastic candy cane stands about 3 feet high directly next to the doorknob.
I'm willing to wager I could climb that there candy cane and let us both in.
To climb. I wish I could climb.
Cuthbert begins climbing the candy cane.
Cuthbert, make an athletics check for me.
15.
The little tin soldier begins shimmying very efficiently up the candy cane. Back up on the roof.
All right, do you want to jump in first?
Sure, that way, if I get stuck, you can just push me down a little, get me at the bottom.
I don't know, I think maybe 3 or 4 of you could fit in here.
But I don't know, I get stuck on a lot of stuff. I mean, you remember last time the whole windowsill debacle where I got my bottom stuck and I was halfway in and the parents came in from the house and they saw my little butt sticking out of the window and there was a whole ordeal.
But don't you remember I was there to pull you back out? They only saw your hiney for just a little bit. I'll be here to get you at this time too.
Well, thank you so much, Helga. You know, you really give me confidence not only as a friend, but also as a top secret special operative for Santa Claus himself.
And Tubbs jumps butt first into the chimney.
The chimney is extremely wide, and Tubbs falls the length of the chimney to the bottom of it.
Oh!
The crunching of paper makes Tubbs sit up quickly and realize that he has flattened little paper fire that's been cut out by a child, it looks like. Sort of to simulate that a fire is actually moving in the fireplace, but to be safe for Santa Claus when he arrives.
All good down here. I landed on my bottom again. Like they've practiced many times, Tubbs lays flat on his back and allows Helga to land on his big stomach.
1, 2, 3. And Helga jumps off the top of the chimney.
Helga hurtles to the bottom, impacts into Tubbs' stomach,
Ooh.
and lands deftly on her feet.
Danke, Tubsy.
I don't know what that means, but sure.
Back outside.
And finally, Cuthbert, in Operation Broken Ornament, you weren't found for 2 weeks, and when you returned, you simply winked and said, "Fun times." What was that about?
Cuthbert is straddling the doorknob and attempting to pick the lock with the blade of his dagger.
Oh, you know what? I've completely forgotten about that one. That was a good time.
Make a sleight of hand check for me.
7.
Cuthbert is still having difficulty with the doorknob.
Ugh, this rusty old socket won't give.
Cuthbert sheaths his dirk and sticks his finger in the lock.
Roll a sleight of hand check, please.
10.
With some fiddling, the door finally comes undone and creakily swings open.
It took some doing, but I got us in, Metal Man.
The toys are met immediately with a brand new, very warm atmosphere as a little bit of snow blasts inside, covering the foyer carpet in tiny little flakes.
Your success rate is outstanding, but we are going to have this conversation later as a group. We've all talked at length about it.
Aye, and I can't wait, boyo.
Oh, but there's the guy. Hey, guys!
Tubbs, use your earpiece. You don't have to shout everything.
Oh, right, sorry.
Hey guys, over here.
We'll work on your whisper.
Peep, big boy.
Cuthbert, you also do not have to shout either.
Sorry, mate.
Cuthbert, paying Swapper no mind, hops off the door handle and waits for Swapper to enter the house.
The little earpieces in your ears crackle one last time.
One last thing. Don't let the grown ones see ya. You know what happens when the grown ones see ya. I'll be back just after I... Whoa!
Just after when? Are you adding new times to the clock? I just learned the other numbers.
Well, Chotchkis, looks like we're on our own. The way old Cuthie likes it. I say we start with the upstairs.
Now, remember, we are simply here to do recon. Nothing else. We should not engage.
Tubbs and Helga begin to move from the living room to the adjacent foyer. As they walk towards Cuthbert and Swapper, they notice around the living room milk and cookies sitting on an ottoman, a little lipstick stain on the glass of milk, and all but one cookie eaten.
Oh man, Santa's already been here. And he wore his good lipstick too. Candy cane red.
9, darling. 9.
A delicately decorated Christmas tree towers over all of the toys as they pass, a star sitting at the top. Some homemade ornaments with Tim C drawn on the back of them in a Sharpie marker. The phone hangs off the receiver. As Cuthbert swings the door closed, sealing the storm outside, a little note that is attached to the doorknob flaps and catches all the toys' attention.
Helga uses her puppet string to grapple the note and pull it down to the group. 7.
Helga shoots the string outward and accidentally cleaves the note in half, the force of her puppet string just a little too strong. The two halves of the note flutter down to the carpet.
Tubbs picks them both up, holding one piece upside down and the other normal. God, some kind of code.
Oh, no, Tubbs, maybe don't.
Why don't you just give Metal Man a look-see there, boyo?
Cuthbert takes the halves and hands them to Swapper.
I will now proceed to read the note. Are we ready, Alpha Team?
No, I brought it down so we could look at it.
Hold your wish and get to it, boy.
Sweetheart, I'm out for just a moment. I'm going to go get Daddy so he'll be home in time for Christmas. Officer Daniels is even helping us look, so we should be back in a jiffy. Love you, darling. Mom.
Looks like the buzzer got the phone call, wrote the note and left.
It is not just the boy who is missing. A grown is missing too.
Pappy must be lost in the storm.
Well, that should mean that we should be able to move around here with no trouble. if they are out there, no grown ones in here.
At just the mention of no groans in the house, Tubbs is back in the living room shoving the rest of that cookie into his mouth. You've heard of no groans. We can do whatever we want.
Big boy, you're a regular mayhem machine.
Now, okay. She did say be back in a jiffy. A jiffy, defined by groans, is approximately anywhere between 3.5 seconds to 4 hours.
Aye, let's stop twiddling our thumbs and get to it.
Cuthbert bounds up the stairs.
Shoving the last remnants of the cookie into his big mouth, Tubbs clumsily pulls himself up one stair at a time.
Swapper stops at the first stair. Error, climb stairs.
Oh, that's right. I almost forgot it. Sorry, man. I got you. Tubbs effortlessly throws the robot over his shoulders, backpack style, and continues up the staircase.
Thank you, Tubbs.
A la Spider-Man, Helga alternates roping the banister with her puppet string in her right hand to the edge of a picture frame on her left, alternating between the two, gradually ascending up the staircase.
As all four toys breach the top of the stairs, several open doors are juxtaposed by one solidly closed white door. On this white door, several juvenile drawings in crayon are posted, each one with scotch tape around the corners.
Well, ain't that a tidy sight? I'll bet me buttons and buckles that the boy's in there.
I don't know, that mom person also loves using paper for stuff. Could be her room.
Ja, possible. Shall we go listen to see if anyone's in?
I'm just saying we should follow every lead.
Helga goes up to the door and puts her ear against it, trying to see if she can hear anything.
You hear nothing inside the room. However, behind you, in the open bathroom, a toilet flushes.
Grown-ups, everybody, go inanimate!
Tubbs, Swapper, and Helga immediately drop to the floor ragdoll style. Cuthbert stiffens and remains still. There's a padding inside the bathroom. Something appears to be stepping around in there. The door pushes slightly more open with a creak. And then, in the dark hallway, two yellow eyes are suddenly visible, at about a foot off the ground. One furry paw is placed on the carpet outside the bathroom. A little bell tinkles around this creature's neck as it finally exits. And as it goes to investigate each toy, Tubbs desperately trying to keep his cool as the creature breathes deeply in his face. A paw is raised in the air, and it bops Tubbs just on the head.
Oh, wake up, tiny bear. I want to make biscuits in your chest.
This house cat peers into your soul, Tubbs, with big, bright yellow eyes that can only be described as joyful. A little tag dangles around its neck next to the bell with some sort of inscription, but it continues to rotate and you're not able to read it.
And I see all you other tiny guys over here. Come over here, tiny guys. It's okay.
Tubbs completely conspicuously fails to whisper to the others. What do I do? Should I keep being still?
Nah, big boy. We're made.
Cuthbert gets up and addresses the cat.
Oh, hello, Pointy Man.
Oh, aye, Pointy Man. I can be real pointy. You have any idea where the wee lad went?
I don't know where everybody went. All the big guys and the slightly tinier man. They're all gone and all this white outside. And I'm like, whoa.
Cuthbert jabs a thumb over his shoulder.
This here the little man's room?
Yeah, that's where he lives and sleeps. And I don't know, sometimes he... Hey, Tiny Bear, can we go back to me making the biscuits in your chest? Just want to need some biscuits. If that's okay with you, I'd like to ask.
The cat, with a very anticipatory fervor, begins to knead into the carpet with his paws. He has clearly been declawed.
And who am I to deny someone of doing their special thing? Go for it, buddy.
Okay, here we go. Oh, thank you so much. Making the biscuits, 1, 2, 3. Everybody likes the biscuits except me. Just kidding, I love the biscuits. Biscuit maker, yeah. Flippity floo.
The cat begins to enthusiastically knead into Tubbs' chest.
Oh man, that's weird.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tiny Bear. What are all your names? My name is Applesauce.
My name is Tiberius Huggins, TM. You might have heard of me. I was a popular toy 2 years ago. But you can call me Tubbs. Over there, the pointy guy you're talking about, his name is Cuthbert. Buchanan, he's a toy soldier. Then
Pointer guy.
Then that stringly, dangly lady, her name is Helga. She's from Germany. Then
Stringy lady.
that big guy looks like a block with legs and a face. His name is Swapper. He's like a little wind-em-up robot toy.
Bucks.
And that's our little team here. We're just a bunch of friends hanging out looking for Tim.
Oh, you're looking for Tim too? Do you want to check behind this door? Is it giving you trouble?
Aye, kitty. We aim to do just that, but the handle's a little high up, you kin.
Yeah, that doorknob is not really gonna help you because the door is, how I should say, barricaded. I don't know. I've been trying to get in there, but hey, you know, I actually know a secret way. But God, I hate to be a real downer with this, but I kind of need help with something before I show you the way. You know, a little quid pro quo situation.
What do you need help with, kitty cat? Applesauce man.
Wow, meow. Thank you so much for even listening to me. No one listens to me. The humans, they cannot hear, you can. That's great. So for the past, I want to say year, I've been trying to, go to sleep at night, and then I hear this sound like a wow, and it comes outside, and it's this big cat, it's like got a lot of fur, and he's calling me out, So I go out there, sometimes I go in the yard, I'm like an indoor, outdoor cat, and I went out there, I'm like, hey guy, what are you doing over here? Why with the wow sound? And he says, get out of here. He's being really mean. And I was trying to fight him, I was like, this is my yard. He's like, no, this is my yard. So I try to hit him, but I'm not, I don't got any claws in my paws, So then he pawed me, and it got a lot of claws, and it hurt my little face. So I came inside, and I don't know what to do, but can you help me get rid of this cat? Like, tiny pointy man, can you get rid of him?
Oh, aye. We can deal with this fellow for you. I've been itching for a scrap. Just point this to him, lad.
Well, thank you.
Swapper, who has finally gotten up off the floor, looks to Applesauce.
Before any of that, I have one question, just for my own personal data, then we can go fight this other feline. Was it you who flushed the toilet?
Yeah, it's a little secret of mine. It's something I picked up, I was watching the TV and I saw a guy do it. And then I learned myself, yeah, something I do when no one's around. I'm pretty impressed with me.
Logged and noted.
Yeah, that's not the only thing that's logged. How? That's a poop joke.
With that, Applesauce ceases his kneading and leads you all into the bathroom. As your feet meet the cold linoleum, he leaps up onto the toilet bowl and lets down his tail for you to climb up after him. All four toys use the tail to hop up with him, and then Applesauce gestures to the windowsill.
Oh, wow, this is crazy. He's there right now. Wow.
As all of you peek out the window, you see, amidst the flurry of snowflakes, a matted, snow-covered hairball perched atop the fence in the backyard. Dark yellow eyes, almost bordering on orange, peer up at you as you appear in the window.
It's like he knew I'd be here. It's like he knew I was making a number 2 in here. Wow.
So what are we to do, exactly?
Well, you somehow got into the house. I'm sure you can manage, kicking this cat's old big old butt.
That shouldn't be a problem.
Thank you, stringy lady. Applesauce fills with the window and manages to open it slightly. Hey, Death Whisker, I got some friends now, and they said they're gonna kick your butt.
Death Whisker shimmies a bit on top of the fence, casting some of the snow aside, and his massive bulk does not get any smaller.
Yeah, he just yowls like that. It's very scary. It keeps me up all night.
Cuthbert is already out the window and running down the sloping roof.
Oh, Pointy Man is early.
Buchanan! Cuthbert reaches the edge of the roof and leaps straight toward Death Whisker, bayonet first.
This backyard is pretty narrow, and it looks like with enough velocity, Cuthbert is going to reach Death Whisker in the air. Especially because Death Whisker has launched off the fence post at Cuthbert.
Yeah! 22.
That's a hit. Roll your damage.
7 damage. Cuthbert and Death Whisker collide midair, and before breaking apart, Cuthbert catches Death Whisker in the side with his bayonet.
Helga makes her way to the edge of the roof before deftly jumping off into the snow below.
As Deathwhisker and Cuthbert meet in the air and Cuthbert slashes his side, the mangy cat reveals massive claws and swipes at Cuthbert's torso. However, he misses, and both Cuthbert and Deathwhisker land in the snow.
Insolent fool, that cat shall be your demise.
Tubbs bounds down the roof and launches himself off, intent on landing on top of Deathwhisker. Bear hugs is the best hugs.
Make an acrobatics check for me.
13.
Tubbs lands directly on top of Deathwhisker, but due to his cuddly nature, doesn't do any damage upon impact. However, Tubbs can make a grapple check.
Tubbs wraps his arms around the cat in a big bear hug. 16.
With a nat 20, Deathwhisker easily shuttles you off to the side, and you flop into the snow.
Swapper turns to Applesauce.
Now, do not be alarmed. I am going to turn into a different shape, but I will still be very much the same robot I am now, but I will look very different. Very different.
Okay.
Swapper's body very clunkily splits in half and then condenses down into two boxy wind-up shoes.
Oh, hello, my name is Applesauce.
Swapper, as a pair of wind-up shoes, takes off at a speed at which we've never seen Swapper move at before.
Swapper is able to make it down into the snow and charges towards Deathwhisker.
One of the boxy shoes steps directly on Deathwhisker's paw. 25.
That is a hit.
14.
Deathwhisker howls to the sky as his paw is crushed into the snow.
How dare you! I'm Deathwhisker, scourge of the backyard.
Up from the rooftop, Applesauce yells compliments.
Good job, Shoes. I don't know you, but I assume you're a super guy.
A warm feeling fills your robotic heart, even as Shoes, Swapper, and you're able to add 1d4 to any of your next attacks.
Cuthbert charges the cat bayonet first. Nat 20. 10 damage. Cuthbert pokes Deathwhisker right in the nose.
Deathwhisker's septum tears open and a little bit of blood spatters on the white snow. Immediately, his paw goes to his nose and begins to cover it up.
My little nosy.
Leave my new friend alone, you filthy furball!
Helga goes up and attempts to sling her puppet strings around Deathwhisker's two sets of paws. 7.
Deathwhisker leaps upward, dodging both of the ropes that whip out towards him.
Acht Schnitzel.
Deathwhisker takes a mighty swipe at Cuthbert. Nat 20. The clawed hand makes impact, scratching some of Cuthbert's paint, and he flies back into the snow. Cuthbert takes 25 slashing damage and is launched backward.
Where is your god now?
Cuthbert, rocked to his core, struggles to his feet.
That the best you got, kitten?
Deathwhisker then wheels around to the pair of shoes next to him, opens his enormous maw, and tries to clamp down on the tin shoes. 26 will hit. The teeth sink into the tin, doing 15 damage.
Tubbs, pulling himself out of the snow, dives onto Deathwhisker's back once more in an attempt to hug him to the ground. Nat 20.
Tubbs firmly grapples Deathwhisker to the ground.
Stop fighting, I just want to be your friend.
This friendship is but a shin for me to scratch.
Swapper, now free of the cat's jaw, wheels around, gaining momentum, and makes another charge directly at Deathwhisker. Nat 20. 23.
23 damage, and Deathwhisker, with the massive momentum, fails a strength save to stay on his feet and is knocked to the ground, Tubbs squeezing him tightly.
Yay! Kill him!
Cuthbert whips out his dagger and dives onto Tubbs and Deathwhisker, slashing down at the cat's face. 23. 6 damage. Cuthbert hooks an arm under Deathwhisker's collar and yanks the cat's head so that one of his eyes is level with Cuthbert's face, and holds his dirk up menacingly.
Now you listen here, furball. This yard here is Applesauce's turf. And if you come back, I'll know.
And with his knife, prods Deathwhisker's snout again, nicking a little bead of blood.
Roll an intimidation check.
12.
I was here long before Applesauce, when the primordial soup of this neighborhood was just being formed. My owner owns the condo next door, and this is my turf.
Swapper transforms back into his normal form.
All right, gang. I believe that in such primal relationships, it is important for the new dominant force to humiliate the subordinate. Maybe Applesauce should come down here and do something humiliating to Death Whisker.
Aye, how about it, Kitty?
Okay. Applesauce climbs down from the window and approaches Death Whisker.
Okay, Death Whisker, okay. Stupid. Yeah, it's good. That's great. You are a stupid head. I nailed you, roasted your butt.
Death Whisker stares blankly. The insult has clearly had no effect.
Helga wraps her strings around Death Whisker's neck. Now listen here, you little pussycat. These strings will become tighter and tighter unless you agree to quietly leave this place and never come back. Because you best believe I'm a new toy in this house, and I will be watching.
Make an intimidation check with advantage.
8.
Death Whisker, the picture of defiance, takes one free paw and whips snow into Helga's face.
Oh, come on, man. I'll be your best friend. I'll give you hugs all the time, just like this. Isn't it fun getting big bear hugs?
Roll a persuasion check.
18.
No, I don't like to be touched. No, hugs. No.
Death Whisker, clearly battling within himself, his core principles crashing together and shattering, looks up into Tubbs's innocent, picturesque face, and his heart melts.
Love is futile.
There, it's all gonna be okay.
Over the howl of the wind, a voice is suddenly heard from the other side of the fence.
Colin, come here, baby. Where's my swoopsy poopsie? Colin. Death Whisker, aka Colin, looks at the direction of the voice and scampers away.
Coming, Dad! I'm coming! Sorry!
With one leap, he reaches the top of the fence. The dark yellow eyes turn around once more, and a paw is raised in a salute of respect.
I accept your offer of friendship. Go in peace. Coming, Dad, sorry.
Tiberius Huggins, TM. I am programmed to care for only children. Sometimes I forget to care for other life. You are truly something special.
I knew there was a reason I kept you around, big boy.
His name was Colin?
Meow! Wow, that was a great hug, Mr. Tiny Bear. Maybe me and Colin could be friends one day, you know? Maybe I can, make a biscuits on his chest.
Applesauce assists all 4 of the toys in getting back up to the bathroom window, then leading them out of the bathroom and back down the stairs. In the kitchen, there is a small vent just to the left of the oven, and Applesauce paws at it for a moment. You all notice that it's very loose, and he knocks the grate aside.
Okay, this way to the little man's room. Hey, thank you all so much for your help. I appreciate. I have to go now. I have to take another poop.
Always gotta love a good vent. Thank you, Kitty, and Merry Christmas.
Donka sauce of apples. Don't worry, this year you will be on the red man's good list. I'm sure of it.
I will never forget Applesauce, the cat who could flush.
Tubbs walks over and gives Applesauce a big hug. Hey man, you can write me a letter or whatever. I mean, I can't read it myself, but one of them, maybe Swapper or something, he can read it for me, it'll be cool. I know cats don't have thumbs or whatever, but hey, you can flush a toilet, you can write a letter to your old pal Tubbs.
It'll be pretty bad, but I'll try.
As all 4 toys move into the vent, something all 4 of them are very used to from missions past, a little voice echoes in the distance.
Goodbye, Merry Christmas.
The song of Applesauce echoes within the vent, and finally, Alpha Teen Tinsel reaches the end of the vent and one more grate.
Helga peeks through the grate.
You see Tim's bedroom. In the back left corner sits a very cute race car bed, just big enough for a 6-year-old. A tall Flash Gordon lamp dimly illuminates the entire room. Books are scattered across the floor. You see that in front of the door, the bookcase has been moved, sealing off the entrance. However, The thing that catches your eye, Helga, is the closet door slightly agape, with a purple light shining outward onto the carpet. There's a low, pulsating hum.
All right, the coast is clear. Tubbs, would you do the honors? And Helga gestures to the vent.
Tubbs gets a running start and attempts to go right through the vent and onto the floor below. 12.
The grate blasts open, and he slams into the carpet below.
Come on, jump onto my belly.
They follow suit, and the 4 toys creep up to the closet door. The purple light continues to glow. The pulsating intensifies.
Oh man, Tim's got a pretty cool room. Did you see that Flash Gordon lamp? I can't wait to meet this guy.
Helga, as a tester, grabs a nearby racing car with her whip and tosses it into the purple light.
The sleeping race car wakes up as puppet strings wrap around its body. Wait, what's that? Whoa! There's a sharp pop, and the car doesn't say anything else.
Bo Peep, you are one cold piece of work. I love my job.
Cuthbert charges into the closet.
Buchanan!
Another sharp pop, and Cuthbert says nothing more. The 3 remaining toys have their earpieces crackle to life again.
To Alpha Team Tinsel, do you read me? Do you read?
Loud and clear.
Report in.
I think we found where the little boy went. I'm not quite sure how to describe it.
Well, I'm quite sure how to describe it. It is a closet with a purple glow, and Cuthbert once again ran in without any warning, and he is gone.
Wait. Purple? Did you say purple?
Yes.
Sweet chimneys.
The line goes dead for just a second, and then crackles to life again very quickly.
Okay, Swapper, tell him what you told me.
It is a closet with a purple glow, and Cuthbert once again has gone running in without warning and is gone.
That's purple light. That sounds like a nightmare terror to me. Well, cheese and crackers, pull him out of there. I'm trying to run a campaign here. I can't lose 4 toys. Alpha Team Tinsel, your orders are to pull back. Make room for Elf Alpha Team. They'll be coming in shortly.
Why would we want alfalfa?
We gotta change that name. It's very confusing. People always think it's alfalfa. Of Little Rascals? Of Little Rascals fame. I'm trying to run a campaign here. Regardless, your orders remain the same. Pull back.
But Commissioner, what about Cuthbert? You just ran into the glowy door.
The pulsating intensifies yet again, this time forcing the door open a creak. And you see the source of the purple light. A jagged lightning bolt-shaped tear in the fabric of space itself is leaking purple light in a swirling pattern onto the floor. And before your eyes, the tear looks like it's closing.
I'm real sorry, sir. I'm gonna get an earful for this one. Here I go. Tubbs takes out his earpiece, hurtles himself towards the tear, and dives through.
What? Did Tubbs just go in?
I'm sorry, officer, it's closing. And we have to save Cuthbert and Tubbs. For if we don't have bear hugs, we have nothing. And Helga runs in after them.
No! This is Commissioner Buttercrumb. This is a direct order. Do not go through that tear. Alpha Team Tinsel, I stuck my neck out for you. Stand down!
Swapper turns the crank on his back.
I am sorry. This is the one order that is illogical. Here I go!
Commissioner, I lost him. I think they went in. Oh, how will this look to the voters?
The room is silent, and then, over the empty radio channel,
Santa speed, Alpha Team Tinsel. Get that boy home for Christmas.
This has been a Hero Club production. Produced by Nick Williams and George Primavera, with associate producers Marty Abby Schneider and Dylan McCollum. Voice acting by George Primavera, Nick Williams, Hannah Fagerbakke, Dylan McCollum, Marty Abby Schneider, and Jack Quaid. Theme song written by Matthew McCollum and performed by George Primavera. Special thanks to Kevin MacLeod for his fantastic music, Mage Hand Press for their groundbreaking homebrew, and Marty Abby Schneider for his incredible artwork. Thanks again for listening. Happy holidays and welcome to the club. Well, that just leaves me with one question. See, well, let me just get it. My name is Tiberius Huggins, and the best hugs is fair hugs. Well, just.
Sorry, keep going.